fix to start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother.
The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares on the best part of my day.
The goods from the woods.
Hot damn!
Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
This is a good night, man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
And back by popular demand, our special guest host in for Pat Riley, who's on assignment. It's
Monica Scott.
Yes.
Hi.
And our guest today, one of my favorite comedians, one of my favorite people to be around. Ladies and gentlemen, it's
Candice Thompson?
Yeah.
You nailed this.
Question mark?
You didn't know there was going to be a quiz when you came in here,
know.
but
I know.
wasn't
like,
ready.
I like putting people on the spot. Say their own name. Yeah,
that can be hard sometimes, too, remembering and things like that.
I think so. Yeah, I often forget, especially when I get asked, you know, what do you have to plug? If I'm on someone else's podcast, I'm like, and I freeze up. I can do it on here just fine, but for some reason,
It's the home court advantage.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's most of it. Oh man, it's the dog days of summer here in LA, and we're all full of pie.
We're full of
No, a sliver of pie.
Sliver of pie. That's right.
a sliver from Rivers. I love that
I'm your man. And I'll tweet this out. I happened to upon a great recipe for a passion fruit pie that I talked about on Kyle Clark's podcast when I did their barbecue episode, and I've been making them. And yeah, I think I'm going to enter KCRW's pie contest and fuck up everybody.
Yes.
Wait, you said you've been making them like, is this a weekly thing you've been doing?
Yeah, because I keep. Well, the thing with this pie is you freeze it, right, and then put it in the fridge like the day before you want to eat it, and as it's cooling off, you cut it and all that stuff. So, but it'll keep for just stick it in the freezer. So I just make them and put them in there, and I knew we were doing a podcast today, so I was.
Rivers is very
Some pie.
kind. He's very kind and
good
hospitable
host.
like that. Yeah. So when he comes over, he'll have
have pie.
and sweet tea, which is why you'll hear people will take bathroom breaks during the episodes because we're all full of a lot of iced tea.
Oh, we're all going to diabetic comas.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, can it do that to you?
I mean,
Sweet tea and pie?
Sweet tea and pie. Oh
Absolutely.
Well, I'm done.
He's like, is that what causes it? Sugar?
Yeah.
What causes
I better
diabetes?
call up Wilford Brimley or some shit.
Don't you love how he says diabetes?
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
I know you'd think they would say him, Wilfred, but maybe it was like, hey, I'm Wilford Brimley, and I've been on. What was he on anyway?
I don't even remember.
He was on a show
He was in
back in the 90s, early 90s called Our House.
Our House.
Wasn't he in Cocoon?
I think
too?
Shannon Doherty was also on
Yeah,
that show.
she was. Yeah, that's right. I remember that now. And he was in the Ewok.
What?
Cartoon?
No, the movie.
the Life Day.
No. Do you remember they made 2 made-for-TV Ewok specials?
No.
No, you didn't know that?
No, I knew that. No, I knew that.
You don't remember this?
I knew the animated show.
No, they were
Yeah, I
live
remember
action.
the cartoon, yeah.
This was like the waning days of Star Wars after
Was
Return
it
of the Jedi.
around like
84.
California Raisins time?
It was a little before that. It
that
was
sweet spot between Return of the Jedi and California Raisins. We all
yeah.
remember this time well.
Yeah, because you remember Raisins, I think, was more like 87, 88.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was like
that was later.
Yeah, 84, 85, like
Yeah.
after, when Return of the Jedi was out of theaters and they were trying to milk all that Ewok money.
Okay.
And they made 2 live-action TV movies with, like, this family that was stranded on Endor with the Ewoks.
Oh.
God, I vaguely remember this.
Well,
yeah.
in the second one, they killed off all of the family except the little boy. And instead of the family, that's a spoiler, by the way. But instead of the family,
You knew I was going to watch this week.
well, in the second one, they replaced the family with Wilford Brimley. So at least you have that.
He absorbed the whole
No,
family.
they died, and he was like this space traveler who just finds his kid on Endor or something.
That's Wilford Brimley, the space traveler?
Yeah. Mhm.
Riding.
Wait, did he have diabetes?
Yeah.
Not yet, because he had this kit, you understand.
that you can get from Liberty Medical.
He's in space just jabbing a needle into his thigh. But it floats away because there's no
I see. He's
gravity.
still,
You gotta get it. It works real good.
See, I imagine he's riding the horse. He's riding the horse across the
Well,
stars.
he had a spaceship instead of the horse because this
okay.
was Star Wars.
See, I was imagining him riding the horse across the skyline like Apollo,
Yeah, a space
Rivers,
horse.
that's ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's kind of godlike. Besides, if Wilford Brimley spends too much time on a horse, he starts telling people he's Teddy Roosevelt just because you
They
get more
do
checks
look
that way.
Similar.
Yeah.
He could have played Teddy Roosevelt in the biopic.
Yeah, I'm
should've.
still shocked that Wilford Brimley isn't Noble Willingham from Walker,
I-
Texas Ranger.
I was gonna say, I don't
CD.
know who that is.
So the old guy in Walker, Texas Ranger is named CD, and he's a worthless character, but he should be Wilford Brimley, but he's not.
Well, you would have to spend the money. You'd have to spend the money to get the Wilford Brimley star power, and as you know, they weren't really spending a lot of money on Walker, Texas Ranger.
yeah,
He's
so
the
they-
poor man's.
Yeah, that's why they
poor
had
man's
Chuck
Wilford
Norris.
Brimley.
Yeah, they had him sing his own theme song, so they weren't
they
spending
were
much money.
saving money with the eyes of a ranger.
Because that's where the Ranger's gonna be. I can understand if you can't sing in key, but you could talk in key.
Yeah.
He definitely can. So you do a little bit of baking yourself. You were telling us.
I do. I haven't baked in a minute just because of like my schedule and just for some. You know what? I like to be in a space like in a kitchen that inspires me to bake.
Yeah.
And my kitchen is not that kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's not a bad kitchen. It's just like it needs to be renovated. Like when I go home and I see my parents, like when I go home every Christmas, like I go home and this is a baking kitchen. Like that's when I feel it.
Yeah.
So like I just don't, but I do, when I do it, I love it. I love treats.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I've got a huge sweet tooth.
That makes, I think, three. Monica,
Yep.
you like the treats?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love treats.
4
I'll go
for
on
treats
record.
right here.
Yeah.
We live for it. Yeah, no.
Comes Halloween, you know what to give us.
Like, no tricks over here. Better give us them treats.
just treats.
Yeah.
I enjoy baking because it's the most precise. Like when you're doing like barbecue or you're doing most things, if you like fuck it up, it'll be
you
okay.
can finagle
you
something
can
else
mess
to-
around and
right.
change with the flavor. With baking, it's like, oh, if you put in too much baking soda or
It won't
too little,
rise.
you're fucked.
Right.
So
the whole thing.
I struggle all the time to try to like get better at it. I hit a wall trying to do a marble pound cake.
Oh.
Where the whole thing just sort of turned into a light brown pound cake instead of marbling and having the
That was your white whale.
the marble pound cake.
God damn it.
The cake, she tempts me.
With my last breath, I spit you out. Thou damned cake. With hell's fork, I stabbeth thee.
Yeah.
A little bit of Melville with your bacon. That's the way I like it.
Yeah.
So did you conquer it finally?
No. I made one attempt and then just went back to my safe zone, which is banana breads and pumpkin breads.
Yeah, but what a safe zone that is.
What a delicious safe zone.
Oh, I mean, seriously, Rivers can do wonders with bad bananas. There's no doubt about that.
Oh my God, I just threw out some bananas the other day.
Yeah?
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
Throw them to Rivers. Rivers
know,
like
I
banana
should've-
recycling bin.
Have you ever done banana fritters?
No, what is that?
Oh my
Oh,
God,
man.
same. Another thing you can do with bad bananas is
Yeah.
just smash them up,
Uh-huh.
throw in some flour,
Yeah.
brown sugar, cinnamon, take some coconut oil, make it like in a frying pan, fry it
Yeah.
up real hot, turn it real high, and then just put the batter in, and you'll make like these little fritters, just
Oh,
little
my.
like pancake-sized flat banana fritters, and they're delicious.
God.
I like the sound of it already.
Oh yeah, and nutmeg.
God, that sounds so good.
So easy too, yeah. I don't know why I didn't do that the other day. I just threw them out. I was like, God damn it, I could have made fritters.
Yeah. I had some bad bananas, but they had reached the point
Where
of-
they were inedible.
because my one of my roommates left them like in a fruit basket, and then there was like a piece
top
like
of it.
something on top of it. So I was just like,
Where are these
I was
fruit flies?
I was downstairs. That's exactly what happened. I was downstairs. I was like, where are all these goddamn flies coming from? And I searched
Yeah.
the apartment, and I found them, and they were just like beyond.
Okay,
Yeah.
y'all know how to get rid of fruit flies because they coming in my bathroom window and I can't get rid of them.
I've heard I forget what it, I'll have to ask, but there was like if you put like, it might be vinegar or something in a cup and they get attracted to it and then they drown.
Yeah.
And I think it's vinegar. I'll have to double
I'm
check.
gonna have to
but-
try that because I can't get rid of the little damn
We
thing.
should-
Where do they even come from? Like, when you have fruit in the house, do they just spontaneously
They just spawn
generate
out of the
Like, I
fruit?
don't
It's like,
understand.
do you remember in ancient times they used to believe things spontaneously generated like that?
Yes.
It's hard not to believe that with fruit flies because are they just
Where did they weren't here before I had this fruit.
Yeah.
And they're not like chilling on the fruit. So like when I bought them, where they come from?
or if your garbage disposal busts. And then all of a sudden, it's like, where the
You're
hell are
right.
they coming from? That's how I had the problem. Is my place kind of like you say bad kitchen? A lot of these LA apartments, man, they feel like they're old motels from the 50s. And
Yeah.
things like that. So mine, literally, you've seen this. If you go outside,
Yeah.
it looks like the place where Martin Luther King was shot.
It looks like the Lorraine Motel.
It looks almost exactly like it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
eerie. Only
You're
it's,
right,
it's
actually, yeah.
orientated the other way.
Yeah.
like the left.
Yeah.
But it looks just like it. And I
you're
live
right,
right
actually,
where he was
yeah.
shot too.
Right, Nick, right where the stairs go down and everything. Yeah, I've been to that museum. Yeah, it does look exactly like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, you get these crappy kitchens and think, "There's a damn garbage disposal. I don't even want it." It finally busted. And I'm like,
Right.
good, because it was just creating problems, and that's how the fruit flies started. But out of the kitchen, but they keep coming in the bathroom, and I think it's because they come in. Do they live in trees or anything?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I literally do not know where fruit flies
I
come
cannot
from.
get rid of the damn things.
If you're an entomologist, please tweet at us at the Goods Pod.
yeah.
Because we're all comedians who have no clue where fruit flies come
If you're
from.
an exterminator that does freebies too, and you've never been to the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, and you want to see something that looks like it, come to my place.
Oh my God, you could do tours and make money off that.
That's true.
I mean, you could just reenact the whole thing.
I could maybe get Jesse Jackson to come up there and play his part.
And point. Yeah.
So terrible, but hilarious.
Point of the IHOP across the street.
I've been to that museum when I was first moving to LA. I've now since been to Dealey Plaza and I've been to the Martin Luther King Museum, and it's worth noting that every person does the exact same move at both places where you go down to the spot and everybody looks at it, considers the impact upon history and on us as a people, and then they all slowly turn around to see where the shot came from, and then they sort of stand there and assess whether or not they could have made said shot. And
To be honest, it looked like practically anybody could have made
made
it.
that
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, you go to Dallas and you look up at the book depository, you're like, that is a hell of a shot. You go to Memphis, you're like, probably could have made that with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
That's real real
Across
close.
the street where it's eerie too, because
Yeah.
they haven't other than making a museum in the motel.
Yeah.
That block looks like a dump, and you see there, you go,
Yeah.
wow, Memphis in the '60s was one hell of a dump.
Yeah. God, what a town. And then Stax Museum is pretty close to there too.
I didn't go to that. I went to Sun Records.
Yeah, oh, you went to Sun? Yeah, I had to hit Graceland, Sun Records, the Civil Rights Museum, and Stax. So,
Oh, did you? You was in Memphis, right?
yeah, in Memphis. Yeah.
Did you go to the what is the hotel? The Peabody
Oh, with the ducks.
with the ducks?
Yeah.
The ducks and the
I
great.
don't know anything about Memphis.
there's a
This is what it's
hotel in
making me
Memphis.
realize.
Yeah.
The most famous hotel in Memphis is the Peabody, and
Yeah.
they have ducks. There's a fountain in the big, great-looking lobby. It's where all the famous people stay when they go to Memphis. But they have ducks that swim in the fountain, and once a day, a doorman guy comes out, and it's like Curious George or something. He leads all the ducks. They put out a red carpet, and he leads them all on a procession into one of the elevators and up to their, like the duck cages and things
Yeah.
on the
The
roof.
duck penthouse.
Yeah, the duck penthouse. And apparently this has been going on since like the 30s or something,
Yeah.
because the original owner, they used to use live decoys for duck hunting. And apparently one time his ducks got out or something and were all swimming in the fountain in the lobby. So it became a tradition now. And the ducks, one of the guys at work there called them the biggest attraction besides Elvis in Memphis is the
Hilarious.
Peabody Ducks.
So wait, they stay on the roof?
Well, that's where they have like the coops that they have the ducks in up on the roofs. But during the day, they bring them down through the elevator and they make this red carpet in the lobby all the way to the fountain, and they parade the ducks. The ducks walk over and they get in the fountain and they
and then
swim
swim in
the fountain.
circles.
Yeah.
But are the coops just to keep them there so that they don't like migrate somewhere
Yeah.
else?
Oh, they're
I think
domestic
so.
ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah. they're-
Okay, I'm just trying because normally you
Yeah.
don't do that, right?
No,
Yeah.
I don't just are
I don't- I don't
outside.
But they're
feel like-
domestic ducks. So they're domestic ducks that they keep in a coop and they,
Okay.
and they swim. And I mean, these ducks live the high life.
Sure,
I
it
mean,
sounds like a
it's
great
the-
life.
It's the best
for a duck.
hotel in Memphis. It really is.
So-
and the beer and the booze and things are good in the lobby too.
Oh, yeah?
If you're ever in Memphis and you want to live for cheap, have a fancy time for cheap, go to the Peabody lobby or bars and watch. I was there on New Year's and it was so cold, it's freezing. There was nothing to do except hang in the Peabody and watch football and things like that. And it's a good place, and the booze and things, the drinks are pretty good too, if expensive.
Drinks and ducks.
Yeah.
Sold.
What more do you need?
What do you need?
Take that night train to Memphis, take that night train to Memphis. And when you arrive at the station, I'll be right there to meet you. I'll be right there to greet you. So don't turn down my invitation. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I'll be shouting hallelujah all the day. All day. Oh, we'll have a jubilee down in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'll shout hallelujah all the way.
We're talking social media today, everybody.
Yes.
And this is how we promote this show. I think everybody who works as a comedian in LA uses it, whether they want to or not. Have been some people have been dragged kicking and screaming into the social media world.
That's me.
I know that's kind of what I was talking. Although I feel the way you feel about Facebook, I feel about Snapchat, where I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? What is this?
It's a narcissist dream.
For me, Facebook is the easy one. It's those ones like Tweeter. I'm like, yeah, this really ain't
Did you
my
call
thing.
it Tweeter?
Tweeter, yeah. For times like these, you know.
Yeah. Although I really enjoy at Goodnight Daddy, by the way, on Twitter. I particularly enjoy when you do tweet.
Okay, yeah,
you
well-
get on a roll some nights. That's great.
That's because if I tweet, I usually don't remember it because I am usually lit the hell up. If I'm not lit up, then it's probably a tweet about Sanford and Son, because all the non-high tweets, and even some of the high tweets, I'm usually getting when I'm sitting there watching Sanford and Son.
It's a great show.
It is. I've been retweeted by Son and Pop at Son and Pop, the Sanford and Son Tweeter fan page.
Is that the fan club?
Oh yeah, I've been retweeted by Son and Pop.
Congrats.
Do they
Yeah.
follow you?
I don't know. I think so.
They feel like they should.
I should follow them just so I can get my Sanford news, every day.
I don't think I
Their
don't.
news?
Yeah.
No. But which rerun they showed, you know? Was Julio on it today? How about Grady? I got to find out what
On
I missed.
Esther. On Esther.
Aunt Esther. Oh, yeah. Fred Sanford, you fish-eyed heathen. I love Aunt Esther, man. That show had the best supporting cast. That's what made it
they
so
were
great.
amazing.
I love that there's the fan. First of all, there's the fan club on Twitter, but also, why wouldn't they follow? I don't think there's there's
there's nobody else
There's
doing
not
that.
a bigger advocate for Sanford and Son in 2016 than Mr. Good.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
If Sanford and Son, if they ever took it off the air, I'd leave America. I'd say this is not the America I know.
He's
That's
Trump
your
could get
move to
elected and I'll
Canada.
stay.
Yeah.
But if they take Sanford and Son off the air, then I'm out of here.
Then we're done.
Yeah.
That's the straw.
They'll get my Sanford and Son when they pry it from my cold, dead hand.
I feel like you and my father could have some nice chats about it.
And we could watch some Sanford and Son.
Oh my, he would love that. Put on marathon. He loves that and All in the Family, and we'll just watch those two shows like marathons all day, all long.
You know, when I was young, people used to always call me Meathead because they thought I looked like him.
You do have a little Rob Reiner
I can see
ass.
that.
Yeah, that's not a bad one, though. I have to say, it's not too bad
No,
a one.
no, he's not. He's an attractive dude. I can see a similarity there.
Yeah, we're attractive dudes. So, you know, if you're out there, what's her name? Sally Struthers?
Sally Struthers, yeah.
And you're not over somewhere dealing with starving kids. If
What's happened to her? We haven't heard anything from her.
I know she hasn't cried on a commercial in nigh on 20 years
I
or
feel
something.
like it has been at least 20 years. Haven't heard a peep.
Yeah, that's yeah, God, I guess that's the last thing that I saw her in.
Yeah,
was
I mean,
those commercials.
Yeah.
Remember the ones where she would do the the learn at home thing or whatever, the correspondence school, and they had all those classes like gun repair and all that.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
That thing you want to teach yourself at home.
Well, no,
I don't remember this either.
she used to do commercials. I believe it was her for one of those. This is before the internet, because we're talking about Sally Struthers, so this was before the internet and all that.
Oh, you mean like
They must have aired it in between the Ewok specials.
it's probably the same time.
Actually, it
don't
was a
remember
little.
this.
This was more late raisins era,
Late raisins.
and
Post raisins.
Late
Yeah,
raisins waning.
well, yeah, because if you remember, there was the vintage California raisins. And then there was those later raisins where they
Yes.
tried to make them into individual characters,
Yes,
and they
with
would rap and things
personalities
like
and
that.
stuff, and they ruined
yeah.
them. They ruined them. I used to have a handheld raisin. It was like a kind of a puppet, but not really. I can't really. You just put your hands in the back of his head.
It was like a finger puppet.
Yeah, and his face where you can mush his face up. It was
Yeah.
like made of like rubber and shit
Oh,
like that.
I had all the little.
Yeah, it was-
you remember they would give them away? I think like Piggly Wigglies in places like that.
It was Hardee's.
They're coming to a Hardee's near you. The stars of Hardee's Cinnamon and Raisin Biscuits. Get your California raisins at Hardee's. Another way we're out to win you over.
It was Hardee's, yeah.
That was where you get the. That's where you get the little figurines.
I had a ton of those.
Me too, and I didn't even know what they were.
Do you remember when they tried to bring them back in 2001 and it was right before the 9 and the 11?
The California raisin?
Yeah, the raisins comeback at Hardee's was interrupted by the 9 and the 11.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
It's true.
Remember that?
That was. I mean,
They almost had a comeback.
No, a lot of things fell with those towers. I'm talking Pepsi Blue, California.
Wait, Pepsi Blue.
I remember Pepsi Blue.
Pepsi Blue. It was heavily
remember
advertised by the band Linkin Park.
I remember Linkin Park.
That
yes.
whole summer. You know, it was the high point of Linkin Park, and they were advertising Pepsi Blue.
Michael Jackson, if you remember, came out with an album right around
That's
that time.
right, Invincible.
I remember being...
Oh, yeah, I had that album.
Like a few days after 9/11, I remember being in the Food Lion in Ashland, Virginia, and they have the magazines and things on the rack, and this is a few days after 9/11, so the whole world's gone crazy with that, and they've still got like last week's Entertainment Weekly or whatever, and the cover is, "Are you ready for the comeback of Michael Jackson?"
And everyone's like, no, I don't know.
No. Bob Dylan released an album that day too, and it got good reviews, and it actually became kind of a modern classic, but its publicity was stunted by that too.
It sunk Glitter, the Mariah Carey movie.
Glitter.
I think Glitter may have sunk itself.
itself.
I mean, yeah, it did, but it was affected.
I would
It did
argue.
get affected. That was when that whole Chandra Levy thing happened. When Chandra Levy got
Oh yeah, I had a theory that the guy who was the guy that she was sleeping with in the government.
Gary Condit.
Gary Condit must have been the most happy person about 9/11.
he may have organized it.
I remember people saying that as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Gary Condit's off the hook now.
Yeah,
Whatever.
they just cut to his office in Washington. He's dancing around. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
I'm gonna kiss my wife.
And Aaliyah died right before that.
Yeah, I
God,
remember.
yeah, what a weird
Aaliyah
time.
died like a week before that happened.
Well, they just shut up. In Roman times, they would have seen this coming because of the omens.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Everybody is connected to everybody all the time, and I don't know how you guys feel. I don't think that's good.
It
necessarily.
stinks.
Awful.
Like, I don't necessarily need to know that a guy I knew in high school is now a fucking racist redneck.
Right.
I don't need to know that. I would
Right.
rather just be like, oh yeah, I remember him from soccer.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, so much. And now you go you scroll your feed and you just see these people
It's
that you
affected
barely
everything.
know. And it's like
The internet really stinks because when the internet first came out, it was all about anonymity. Everybody on there was pretending to be a 14-year-old girl. Now there's no anonymity. The minute you go on, people's grandmothers are on there and
Everyone's
people they
on there.
work with and things. That's what I said no to Facebook when I first saw it in, was it 2005?
2004, 2005.
It was
don't even
5
remember.
you remember back in those days you had to be a student?
It had to be a .edu.
When it first got started, yeah.
And I didn't join it right then because I was in school at the time at the Fordham, and I knew that like if I went and did this, everybody in my class is going to know what I'm doing all the time and when I'm not studying.
Yeah.
kind of
That's
thing.
bad.
Yeah. So I was like, right away, I was like, I don't need this. And then it just got bigger and bigger because you used to have to be in school to do it.
Yeah,
Right.
It started Harvard, and then they extended to Yale, and then a few other Ivy League schools, and then eventually it just became anybody who had a .edu email address, and then it was opened
Could
up to
get on
everybody.
it.
Yeah, so I think I got on right at like the beginning of 2005.
I didn't
so.
do it till 2009. I was
Yeah.
late.
Me too.
I was
Yeah,
still on
I was
MySpace.
late too. Me
I
too.
only
The
did it because of
thing about-
comedy.
Yeah.
The thing you were just talking about, like that shame that you felt, it's completely obliterated shame. There's no such thing as shame anymore.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's ruined
Yeah.
shame, and I'm like, people need to be ashamed of a lot of the shit that they're doing. But it's gone.
And people need to be ashamed of, like, nobody cares about your unsolicited opinions, no matter what topic it's on or what
People
side
should
you're
be more
on.
ashamed about their opinions. And
Yeah.
I agree.
But I think that it has blown up shame to be like a different thing, because I think a lot of big movements of the internet are like based around forcing shame.
that's
on
what it
somebody.
is. But they're trying to tell us what we should be not shaming people for. But I'm like, we need to be telling people what they should be getting shamed
They're shaming
for.
you for shaming.
Stop shaming. Like
There's
I've been
also-
saying this. I've been saying this for a couple of years. They need to stop shaming people. Some people absolutely need to be shamed. Like, no, you
Yeah.
shouldn't shame somebody for the way they look or something like that.
Yeah.
That's stupid. But like, if you're if you're a 38-year-old dude and you're living at home in your mom's house, like, no, absolutely not. If you're that 45-year-old dude who still goes to the club
Be ashamed.
on a regular basis, like, I'm sorry, but needs to be some shame.
It is interesting because I think that a lot. Like, you see a lot of like the shame is a word that gets thrown around with like don't fat shame or slut shame and all
Right.
that stuff. But then you see ones like don't suicide shame, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well,
I
that
kind
could
of-
go down the wrong path.
I think it's okay to. You should not do that.
should not
like
promote
shame,
it.
Shame is
You shouldn't endorse it.
Shame is like what keeps us like wearing pants
In
outside.
check. It
and
keeps
stuff.
us in check.
So,
Absolutely.
like to say that shame shouldn't
That and
exist.
mosquitoes, I was going to say.
That's the only thing standing between us and nudity: shame and
and
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes, that's Zika.
Well, and just the fact that, it's fun to dress up and it's proper manners and things like
You may be
this.
getting hung up on the wrong detail, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like, because that goes back to what I was saying. Like, those people, like, I agree with you guys on the one hand that people should have their opinions checked, I guess, but at the same time, there's some people where you're just like, this person is so meaningless that just let
I
them.
just don't
That's
care.
maybe the meanest thing I've ever
Just
heard.
Nobody let
like
'em-
you're meaningless.
No, but it's true. Not
Some
everybody.
people are though.
Yeah,
Some people should be aborted, and I'm not. I will never stop saying that.
I would add that most people should. I watched the Omega Man and I'm like, God, I wish I could live in a world like that.
But yeah,
just
that's-
rude vampires.
Like,
Yeah, but I get to shoot them down every night.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I get that nice looking Rosalind Cash at the same time. You understand?
But yeah, I just see there's some people where I get that, like, I'll see an opportunity where somebody says something that's ignorant, and it's like, I could jump in here.
Right.
But
I could get
Oh,
into
like on my page,
I'm currently embroiled with some guy I don't know, and I tried to end that.
I don't even know who that guy is.
You don't? Okay,
No.
I was gonna ask you because I've been having so much fun with that guy because he's my favorite kind of Twitter egg where he only punctuates with ...
The ellipses.
The
yeah.
ellipses, which
The
is
ellipses overuse.
oh my god, not just overuse, but
I
that's
plead guilty on that one.
yeah, but that's the only
Well,
punctuation.
but using
though.
it as like that's really sticking it to somebody,
Right.
you're just like, "Ugh, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
You're being an idiot.
Right.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like to use it to make two statements at once because it's an ersatz way to kind of break things without making a
and
second
that's fine.
sentence.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's what semicolons for, though.
I am.
Yeah, but those always look ugly.
Yeah, they're not as
That's
cute.
true.
Not as cute. Yeah.
Besides, they don't give you that hilarious pause that an asterisk
Yeah.
always brings, so you know
Yeah.
how to read it.
They're not as dramatic.
You can also do a hyphen. There's, I don't know.
Well, you know,
I
you know
would.
what John Wayne said about the hyphen.
What?
Look it up.
Okay.
I would like to actually go on record and saying that I like the internet.
Yeah.
I like social
Oh,
media.
the
and
internet
stuff.
is great.
Like,
It's the social media
No, but
thing.
I think
Right,
that
it's great
everyone.
and it's bad.
I like that I know who's bad.
No, you do. You make a valid point there.
I
Continue.
appreciate that. Like, I like that I can go on Facebook and I can see people's horrible opinions,
Yeah.
and most of those people are meaningless. You're right. That is the funniest thing to say. But I really like to be able to kind of like weed out who I would bother
You're
investing
absolutely right about
any
that.
energy
Yeah.
in.
It's like for dating, it's great because like
Yeah.
if you can find out immediately that this person is a sociopath based on the fact that this guy's all he takes is selfies on
Right.
Instagram, or you can see dead eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I like to do a quick scan of dead eyes before
you have to,
I say yes
especially in
to
LA.
that
You
date.
have to. It's 80% of the people out here are dead inside.
I also like eavesdropping on people's weird Twitter fights.
Oh, me
Yeah,
too. It's great.
yeah.
It is entertaining.
I like dropping in and being like, "What are you guys doing?" Just like fave
What I
like
miss.
2 of them. Be like, "This was funny when you burned them."
Instigating?
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to talk about social media is because something very interesting happened to me last weekend. I did a show. I don't know if you guys know Mal Hall, the comedian Mal Hall. He's from San Diego, and he runs a dope show at the Tipsy Crow. And I did that show last weekend. And then after the show, it turns into a nightclub.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were just me, Mal, and like a bunch of his friends who came to support the show. We were just down there drinking and having a good time. We were dancing. And then like after 45 minutes, I looked around me and it hit me. And I was like, oh my God, I have to go. Like I was in a club. I was in a nightclub. I'm in my 30s. And I was like, I'm over this. Like, so what? And I was like, why am I here? But it's go. The novelty wore off really quickly. So I tweeted in that moment. I said, people who are 35 and up who frequent the nightclub on a regular basis, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was just like a thought that we all shared.
That's like a funny.
It makes. I mean, also, I feel the same way about rock concerts half the time,
They're so loud.
and they're for kids. This
They
is
are.
kids' music.
They are.
Only another kid cares what a 27-year-old with a guitar has to say.
Exactly. So, and I thought that was just a general consensus, like with society, that
Yeah.
no one wants to be that old person in the club, right?
Right.
And mind you, I was talking about myself. Like,
Right.
this was some personal experience. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing here? I got attacked. Can I read you some
Yes,
of the...
please.
What was offensive to people?
I'll tell you what these people thought.
God.
First of all, well, I'll tell you what the first issue was, is that they thought that I was in my 20s, I believe.
Well,
Which-
you look great.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's hard to complain about things like that.
Thank you.
Did they card you on the way in?
Yeah, but I think they carded everybody. So the first guy, he tweeted at me. Where's the first one here?
By the way, plug your Twitter so people can look this
Oh
up.
yeah, please do. My Twitter is Jokes by Candice, and that's Candice with an ICE, not ACE.
Fuck those ACE
Yeah, fuck
Candaces.
those bitches.
Just kidding. I'm sure I know one, so please don't.
I was serious. No, fuck them.
I mean, if you mean it literally, there's some nice-looking Candaces out there with the, even if they have the A.
Candice Cameron, I think, spells it with an A.
Oh, well, that's your first problem.
But she's like a Bible thumper.
That's what
I
I'm
haven't
saying.
seen her since the era of the early Raisins.
Oh no, she's on Fuller House.
Early.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
No, Fuller,
House.
There's
the
a
new
new
one.
Fuller House.
Oh, that thing. How is it?
I watched the pilot and it was.
You
Well, really, what I don't know is, did Stamos' work, was it up to his usual standard?
He's still fine if that's what you mean.
That'll do.
Yeah,
That'll
he's
do.
still gorgeous.
Well, also, I'm surprised you haven't seen it because you watch a lot of Trinity Broadcast Network, and
Yeah.
she's on there shilling all the time.
Yeah, but I watch the kids' shows
Okay,
a
that's
lot.
fair. Yeah. She doesn't fuck with the kids show. She does
Yeah.
the live 1-800 prayer thing.
Anything that's kids' shows or creationism, I will watch it.
sold and sold. All right, now the tweets. The first one I got was well, this was not one of the first. The first one I had to block because he called me a stupid cunt, and I was just like, okay.
What? Because you made a joke about it. Man, fuck that. That's so insane.
He must really like Day Club.
Yeah.
I did not know there was a community of these people.
They all have
got
fedoras.
offended by it. They're mostly men. A couple of them were women, but one
They're
of
all
them.
plus 35 plus. We go to clubs. We're 35.
This is what
we're
I'm talking
very
about. Where is
Were
the
they
shame?
Europeans or something?
Yeah. Yes. I am 35. Let us go to the club.
Fabrizio, you want to go to the club?
Now is the time
to
on
dance.
Yeah, now is the time on Sprockets when we dance.
Touch my monkey.
Touch my monkey.
Touch my monkey now.
I'm 35.
Dita.
35. Oh, just,
I love it. Yeah, no.
I love the references.
By the way, just a quick tangent. I'm a tour guide, as most people know.
On the dinosaur train.
Well, no, and I just because they were German, I thought of this. So it was a lady, her teenage daughter, and then she brought her parents along, and they had just been at each other's throats the whole day, and they were just German as shit, and just like very like, do not tell me how to parent, father, like, and
Your papers, please.
and the
I'm going to send you to the Russian front.
the dad was on the phone with his friend, and he was like, "Oh yes, we're having a lovely time. Los Angeles is beautiful." And I'm trying to give the tour, I'm trying to be like, oh yeah, on the left is the Chinese theater, is built in 1927 or whatever. And I don't care if people talk over me. Like, they pay for the tour, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm giving the tour regardless. And the mom can't hear anything. And so she just goes, Papa, hang up the phone. It is a violation. And I was like, yes. And then the grandmother
Violation.
and the grandmother says to her own daughter, she goes, you are a violation. And I was like, this is the greatest day of my life.
You know what
They
it's like?
talk to each other.
You remember on the Carol Burnett show, they'd have that thing with Mama and the Family? The thing that they spun off into Mama's
You're
Fit.
talking about
Vicki Lawrence.
Vicki Lawrence's thing. Yeah,
This is like the German version of that.
It's the night
You
the
are a
lights went out in Germany.
oh my god.
Anyway, sorry I interrupted.
No, it's okay. That was worth it. Totally worth it.
It was our German interlude.
Yes.
You should have one every podcast.
German interlude.
You should totally do that now every podcast.
Yeah. I
like
Just
it,
have a
yeah.
German interlude.
Yeah,
segment.
play a little bit of fugue in D minor. German interlude.
Watch some Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
I can't. Okay, so one of the guys tweets at me, some of us have been listening to dance music since the 90s.
Oh no!
Oh, dance music hipster.
And it's not on people like Jokes by Candice to grant permission.
Ooh, wow.
This guy is serious.
He just likes to dance. That's so cool. Oh,
No,
I
this
love
other guy goes, what about the 40-year-old real estate mogul entertaining clients? Or the 50-plus-year-old club owner? Or just the 40-year-old who enjoys house music?
Oh my God. Embarrassing.
Yes.
What
It just keeps
clients?
getting more-
What clients are you taking to a club?
To the club.
I love that these aren't not yet anyway. I'm assuming they maybe get meaner, but these are just like people who are like, I like going to clubs and you can't tell me not to go. I like
people are really attached to this.
I can't imagine having such a fragile constitution
Yeah.
that someone's joke
my
is
what I
like
said
what
to the
devastates
guy.
me.
That's what I said to the guy. I said,
wake up every
imagine-
morning to Sandstorm on my phone.
and
Is there some kind of clubbers advocate group or something
That's
that's
what it
scouring the
sounds like.
internet?
That's what it sounds because none of these people followed me, which means they were searching keywords.
Oh my God.
Oh no! What?
Or you got retweeted into
Or
the
I got
timeline.
retweeted, possibly.
That's so funny.
Like,
my
I'm
God.
trying to go to
Because it takes like one person retweeting you into their timeline.
That is true.
For
Yes,
like,
yes.
For
For-
like a domino effect of like assholes quote tweeting your tweet and being
Right.
like, "This lady's a bitch." Blah.
Right, but that
This lady's
but that
club
first guy-
shaming.
the first guy that responded to me hadn't been retweeted at that point.
You're
So
like,
I'm like, where did you come from?
do you have a Twitter alert set up
for people talking
the
shit
club?
about
The club. He has to find out, where the action's at.
Yes. Like, yes, you judge people based on their enjoyment. Wait, no, he said you judge people's enjoyment based on age. Like, that's what one guy said to me.
And you're like, yeah,
Well, I think
yeah.
age appropriateness
It's embarrassing
would be the right
to be
way.
older
Yeah.
at this
Well,
club.
no, because it's true. Because, for example, building blocks are a lot of fun. But if you're, let's say, 48, and you're like, wow, look at the tunnel I made.
right. Well,
And I spelled the word Piggly Wiggly with it.
yeah.
Because the blocks have letters, you understand?
Well, and also it's like go click on your the name of the tweet. The handle is Jokes by Candice. It's a fucking joke. Like,
Okay, now one of my followers and like people who likes me.
Yeah.
Like some people came out of the woodwork and was like defending me when they saw this happening.
Yeah.
And one of them did say that like, yo, like she's got jokes
It's
by
a
Candice and
comedian.
it's a joke. And then that's when they went and said, I'll try and find the actual tweet that they said, but it was well, the joke wasn't funny. It has no punchline and it has no blah blah blah.
It's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For this
You were on the firing line.
Master class in joke.
Yes.
Dude went on to call me a
construction.
D-list. He went on to call me a D-list comic, and I was like, "Oh, that's a promotion!" Like,
yeah, fuck yeah, put me on the
Thank
D
you
list.
so much.
Dude, I've been on the Z list forever. I'm trying to get up to that team.
I've graduated. This is great.
I would say if I'm a star, I'm the one that's out past Chiron somewhere.
Oh, one of the guys. Oh yeah, I just thoroughly enjoy putting people like you in their fucking place.
On the internet.
wow.
That sounds like one of them internet
That-
gangsters.
Is it racist, sexist? What is it?
Oh, it's
all of
definitely
it.
it's all of them. And then I said to him,
Feels like it's all of it.
right? I said to him, "Why are you still tweeting? Don't you have a woman to beat?"
a handful of things that do set off Twitter
Triggers.
right? Like if you ever make a Bernie joke, they'll burn your house down.
Right. Right.
They're out
Well, he's
for
burnt out now, though, hasn't
Does
he?
not matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
That does not
they're those
matter.
Bernie or bust people, the ones who are still like
They-
ride or die.
And they will threaten your life if you make like the tiniest joke.
Well, threaten him back.
Well, no, but
a life threat should be met with a life threat.
like who is it? There's
scary.
one. Jen Kirkman gets like threat.
Oh, she just got another. She
her
just got
thing-
attacked.
Yeah, her
What
thing
did
this
she-
week.
She said somebody else
She
is going
said-
to run her Twitter now or something.
Yeah, because of that.
She
The
said
tweet
that
wasn't even- it was-
the tweet was not a great joke. It was just
wasn't
like fine. It was-
Right.
but she said, "You know what? I like that Hillary's murdered people."
Yeah, which I thought was funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like and it's like it's maybe it's fine.
I didn't realize she had.
I mean, well,
We're like, ugh, we just can't get into this.
well, no,
Whole
it's,
other.
it's
That's a conspiracy theory.
that's
podcast.
exactly that's
Yeah.
that's what it's a reference to is like the
I
Vince
figured it was
Foster
something like
thing.
that. There's so many conspiracy theories with the Clintons.
Yeah.
And now it's just old news. Like, man, I saw this shit 20 years ago.
We all
Yeah.
saw this
Yeah.
movie already.
This was post Raisins, early Beavis and Butthead era.
But she said
I love
that.
those are our reference points.
She said that, and people like lost their minds on her
yeah.
to a degree that she was like, "I quit."
Yeah.
But
Well,
this is-
I have
this is
to
where,
leave.
This is where, like, you can't joke about anything anymore. It's literally making our jobs as comedians very difficult because
And
people
annoying.
can't take. Like, colleges have got. Do you know that on college campuses they now have jobs where people work to eavesdrop to hear what people are saying in conversations and then report them? If they say a joke that's like off color, that's
Oh,
a
damn.
real position. They're
See,
like little moles.
I told you globalism was going to do this, and now we're using the Republic of China's type, not the People's Republic of China type techniques in our own schools.
oh my god.
like you can't say anything anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's one of those things that I'm divided
I don't know how to
on.
feel. Yeah, I don't know how to feel.
Because, like I was saying, like there's certain times where just
Be a nice person.
leave them alone.
Yeah.
They're stupid and it's fine. Just they're of no consequence
Right.
for the most part. It's when those people get together as a group
Right.
and, for instance, find a figure to rally around
Of
when,
course.
when it gets fucking
It
scary.
can be
Is this
dangerous.
about Bernie again?
Well, Bernie or like Gamergate. Remember that?
Yeah.
The Gamergate that like it was just like some dumb video game controversy that essentially ignited a weird Twitter army to just attack anyone.
Was G. Gordon Liddy involved?
It wasn't that.
20 minutes of level 3 is missing from this video game.
Yeah, it is. It's just weird. But I also did you guys tweet anything about Ghostbusters? I tweeted like 2 or 3 things about liking Ghostbusters, and
You got attacked.
you wouldn't believe how many dudes were coming out of the woodwork to like list the reasons why I'm wrong. And I was like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Can I have an opinion? Like, why can't we have opinions?
Yeah.
Why does everybody have to share the same opinion of something?
Yeah.
Right.
It's
That's
just like
that's what it's
Oh,
created.
it's become like people are just so butthurt with outrage.
yeah, it's so weird.
And the funny thing is, people on all sides are getting more and more extreme with their opinions, and it's nowadays it's people who aren't crazy panic monger extremists
Yeah.
who are stuck living in this panic mongering country, and I
Right.
blame the 9/11.
Yeah.
I blame OJ.
OJ, that was post raisins,
Post raisins pre Pepsi Blue.
pre Pepsi Blue. What year was that? 1994.
94 when he
June
murdered.
17th, 1994.
Pre World Series
Yeah.
strike.
94 when he murdered. 96 when he got off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing went on forever.
It was. Did you watch the documentary? Not the series.
I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen the
No.
documentary.
You
and I'm
have to watch the
dying
documentary.
to.
I've seen both.
It's-
and-
To
I've
me,
seen both,
OJ is
They're
like
both
the old
great.
Clinton
Both
jokes.
amazing.
It's like, man, I dealt with that stuff 20 years
yeah, but
ago.
no, you got to watch the documentary.
Did
The
you watch the
documentary.
series?
It's so good.
Did you watch the series?
I did
too?
watch- I watched
So,
both of them.
I've seen both, and they both are great for their own. The documentary is great because it's so thorough,
Right.
and just gives you. It does what any good documentary does, which gives you context for every aspect
Yep.
of the situation.
Well, dare I ask then, who done it?
OJ.
OJ definitely did
But if the
this.
glove don't fit, you must have quit.
It fit. here's the reason why it didn't fit that day.
Yeah,
is because he had a latex glove on underneath it, and he stopped taking his arthritis medication.
Yeah,
which
so
made
his
his
hands
hand swell.
Oh, that's like a pro wrestling style trick.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Well, no, I mean, they bring up the point. They're like, there is a trail of his blood and the victim's blood leading from the crime scene back to his house.
To his house.
Like, you're like,
Maybe they were playing around with the diabetes testing kit.
it was Wilford Brimley on his horse.
He was probably the one that we found hoof prints at the case.
We found a trail of horse dung and lancets.
Oh my god.
I didn't do anything.
Oh my god! Well, there was a conspiracy theory that his son did it. Did you
Yeah.
hear about that
Yeah.
one? That some private investigator came up with because, like, a hat that was found at the scene
Was it a cowboy hat?
wasn't a cowboy
I'll
hat.
diabete the case.
Yeah,
Wilford Brimley.
I'm confused. Is this Wilford Brimley's son or OJ's son?
There's a conspiracy theory that Wilford Brimley's son.
We're starting it now.
Was it the kid from the Ewok movie?
Yeah.
We found a wooden spear, and it seems they tied some logs to these trees to try to kill OJ's wife.
And the events of June 17th happened to coincide with Life Day on Kashyyyk.
Happy Life Day, pal.
My stomach. I can't handle it.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
The
God.
pie and the laughs.
My stomach is made of cast iron. Actually, you know, I've got a tip for everybody out there that like wants to do their own thing on social media, but doesn't need unsolicited opinions from everybody else. What I do with things like Facebook, because my Facebook I just use so people can get in touch with me for like booking comedy and
Right,
things like
right.
that.
Yeah.
I just go right to my home. I bookmark my homepage so I don't have to look at my feed and see who's ranting about gun control this week or whatever.
Yeah.
I just go right to my own homepage so I don't have to look at other people's shit.
Right.
And I do it with Twitter too. I'll just go right to my own thing.
Reread my own tweets.
Yeah,
to
because I
myself.
don't remember them.
Well, yeah, you already said that you were high.
It's
most
a
of the
new
time.
discovery every time.
I couldn't tell you what the last one I've had on there is because I don't remember doing any for a few nights, but there might be some up on there.
Your last one is great. Brother against brother, slave against empire, Godzilla against Gork.
Oh, that was a stolen Sanford and Son joke.
You didn't reference Sanford and Son in the
Well, I
in the
did.
tweet?
I did subtly
Okay.
because there's no actual such villain in Godzilla as Gork. It's just something Fred Sanford would always claim that he was watching. And I looked at that billboard for that Ben-Hur
remake. Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
and all I could think of was Sanford and Son.
Godzilla versus Gork.
That was a good one. You caught me on a good one. It wasn't one of
Yeah.
those ones where I'm just like, boy, this girl's too pretty to be working at this Taco Bell drive-thru. Have you ever thought that? And you're just like, I want to take you away from all this.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Like in like flyover states, they'll have like really attractive like people,
beautiful people working
at
McDonald's.
'Cause
If
those
you're
places
listening,
do-
Wyoming, I'm coming out there and I am going to go to every fast food I can find.
Save you.
And y'all can be Mrs. Goodnight and live with me in L.A.
who was that cute? Wasn't there a cute Target employee? That,
Oh
like,
yeah,
got a bunch of
Alex from Target.
Yeah, he went viral because he's
Yeah.
just this Target employee that like was just super cute. Yeah,
Was he ever employee of the month?
I don't know.
Or was he a stanky employee, but he looked good? You can get away with
I don't
a
know.
lot.
Target was tweeting pictures of him for a while.
Well, he
because
looked good in
ended
the
up
red
becoming-
shirt and the khakis. I mean, who wouldn't?
Sure.
It works for some people. That look.
Yeah, you can get far in this world if you look good, and I can tell you that, brother, from personal experience. Some of us here can, you know.
maybe not as a comedian
Yeah.
because that's frowned upon in what we do.
I don't frown upon it with you, honey. I have to say. Now, we've known each other for a while, so you know I'm not pulling anything here, but y'all should feel bad that y'all cannot see this episode because Candace one hell of a pretty woman. You understand?
Stop it! Stop it! You're making me blush.
So that was that all that you got? You got a bunch from.
Oh, there was
from-
a bunch more.
That's
Like
so
there was
crazy.
a bunch more. Like I just can't. It's gonna to go back and find them all.
Yeah.
Like,
Did
It's
you
crazy.
react Like, did you say something like, sorry, guys, sorry you're mad, it's jokes?
Of course not.
Yeah.
I would never apologize
Exactly.
for anything that I put on there, because that, I think, just it makes it worse. It just creates
because
they win. They win. Like now, let's talk about what happened over the weekend with Matt Rife.
Yeah.
So there's two comedians. The first one is Brandon Wardell, who is now doing stand up, I believe, but started as a YouTube
personality.
person. Right.
Yeah.
Started as an online personality, just got like millions of followers or whatever. So he's got an online presence. And now Matt Rife, who I don't know that well, is another comedian. I think he's on like this season's Wildin' Out. Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out. I think that's like his biggest claim to fame right now. I don't know if these two had prior beef. I do not know. But what happened over the weekend is that Brandon Wardell, who looks like a dude who like probably is like a gamer who probably spends a lot of the time in his room, like on his computer. Like that's what this dude looks like. Matt Rife looks like he could be in One Direction.
Or he works at Target.
Or he works. Exactly. So I don't know if these two knew each other. I don't know. But Brandon tweeted over the weekend like a few pictures of Matt Rife, like that he got from Matt's Instagram, and was like, "Can you believe this guy is a comic?"
Here's a reference photo for it.
He does look like he's in a boy band.
Yeah. He looks like him and Justin Bieber. Like,
yeah, why bother with comedy if you look like that? Find, some identically pretty friends and learn how to dance.
And that's
but for a pretty person, like, it's hard to stand out. You know what I mean?
Oh, right,
he's he's pretty generic. In comedy, he could be the prettiest.
Yeah, but in a boy band, he could be like the quiet one or some shit like that.
The shy one.
Yeah. Yeah, so what you just said right there is pretty much what Brandon was saying, is like, can you believe this guy looks like this and is a comic? Because that doesn't happen very often, because people who are like that pretty normally are not funny. And then Matt came at him like, do you want to fight? Let's handle this in the valley.
What? Stop. What?
Matt has also like deleted all these tweets.
He had to.
Let's handle this in the valley.
That's essentially what happened. He
like
didn't...
it's The Stand or something.
Like it's You Got Served.
Like we're gonna meet in the desert and duel and shit. You bring your blade, I will bring mine. Let us meet in the mystical land of Van Nuys.
It's so silly, because again, it's like it's an online thing. Like this could be handled like
parking
online.
lot of the Liquid Zoo out in
Meet me at Sal's Comedy Hole.
Meet me at Sal's Comedy Hole.
A Van Nuys death match.
Yeah. The final deletion will happen at Marty's.
Final deletion. So then now that he wants to fight Brandon's like, okay, now I have to expose this dude. So he then goes and like retweets some of his old tweets that were offensive tweets. Now, again, offensive, what that word means, I'm not sure, because, in comics...
Comedy, it's subjective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I will say some were like,
some were
horrifying.
Oh, no, I haven't read anything, by the way. I'm not defending this guy.
Well, that's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, I want to hear how good his tweets are.
He went through and deleted a bunch of them, but here's the thing, is people had already taken screenshots.
Yeah.
So
he's got a superstar Twitter feed now for being bad.
Well, here's the thing, is that he was already verified on Twitter. So he had that blue check, and then now, since this has happened, the blue check is gone.
Which I didn't know that was possible.
That's so funny.
It's so funny.
And
Twitter
Brandon's tweet about that was very funny, where he was just like, was I even fighting with the real one? Where's your blue check?
Where's your blue check? I don't know. I mean, he kind of destroyed Matt Rife. He destroyed him. So one of the tweets that Matt put, this was back in 2011. 101 followers, baby. Time to get my rep up. I'll be able to rape someone and get away with it in no time.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
Well, what the hell is it with comedians when they start out, they want to say the most offensive damn shit?
Well,
because they don't, that's what they do. They think that's what comedy is.
That's the thing. Like, I remember that when you first start out, you can, if you start out in a small enough place, like where I started, like, Alabama, you'll get a laugh if you just say fuck into a microphone.
Of course. I mean, you'll still get that here, though,
but most people should pick up pretty quickly that like, oh, there's a better way, which is it goes back to like this joke specifically. Like there's a way to write that joke that's fucking good, and you don't
look like a rapist.
What was the tweet again?
I'll read it again.
Yeah,
it was like 101 followers.
Yeah, time to get my rep up. I'll be able to rape someone and get away with it in no time.
See, like
there's this rep and rape too, which,
right? Yeah,
yeah. It's like, come on, man.
It's a poorly worded joke, but also
many words.
It's too many words, and you could get across the same point by saying like commit a crime and get away. You know what I mean? Like, like whenever I'm trying to, do a joke or something on Twitter, I always think about first. I'm like, okay, let's try to get as many people to enjoy this as possible. You know what I mean? Like, and if I'm gonna say something, controversial, I'm at least going to like make the language funny. Make it a point. Be funny first, and then.
Which is why you can see, like, with this, like, you're not even trying.
Right.
And this is
also,
years ago. This is 5 years ago.
Yeah,
111 is sad.
I'll say this. So let's, devil's advocate here. Let's say, well, that's when he first started, and maybe some of his other stuff is better. Is there some other one?
Yeah, let's hear some other ones.
More stuff. But this, like, and this is a year later now. And this is in response to. Oh no! This is just a tweet. I'm sorry.
Thought.
Yeah, I thought it was in response to something, but no, this is just a random thought he had here. It's silly faggot, dicks are for chicks.
Well, to be
That's
fair,
old though.
I know that was a T-shirt.
That's like I heard that shit in like junior high school, literally in junior high school, and I don't.
I know that's old. That's like Raisins era.
Yeah, that's really
mid raisins.
That's
mid, yeah, even late Raisins. I remember we went to.
As old as the slogan.
Have you ever been to Hampton Beach, New Hampshire?
No.
Hampton Beach, New Hampshire is the epicenter of tasteless airbrush T-shirts. And they used to have that one back then.
Tasteless airbrush.
Oh my God. Yeah.
They used to have one that said that?
No, but I did have one that said Raisin Hell, New Hampshire, and it was
Hilarious.
a bootleg California raisin.
Raisin Hell.
But it wasn't a shirt even. It was like a mesh trucker's cap.
No, it was like a trucker hat.
Yeah.
Well, like
that joke is literally as old as that slogan.
In his defense, not that I'm defending him.
Yeah.
He is only 23 years old, I think, like now.
Yeah,
And
so
at the
he was an
time-
asshole teenager.
At the time, he was in his teens.
Does Trick still use that slogan?
No, that's how old it was.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean,
Well, they
also,
might
I think
still.
he missed it. You know what I'm saying? Like when that was old to us, like he probably was
Yeah.
not in that
Yeah.
generation where
Yeah.
it's like he even heard that before.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know.
It could be, found dialogue. I call that sometimes. When you see something like a slogan and it's so ridiculous, you just tweet it straight. I'll do that sometimes with when you go by the churches and they'll have
and
the
they have
sermon
the-
thing
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
why you look at mine, you'll see like Jesus is Lord of Edisto and things like that.
It's interesting though, because Brandon is really devastated. This dumb boy.
Yeah.
But also, like, Brandon has more followers.
Yeah, again,
it's
who cares? Just let him do, I don't know.
or like let him be an awful person. Also, some of Brandon's early tweets. He was also a teenager 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, it's something that
true.
like I'll tell you guys off mic because it's a well-known person. Got a big job, and they told me that like the first thing when they were hired for this big job,
through your old
they were
tweets.
like, "Listen, we're gonna announce." This was like he got hired on a Friday, and they were like, "Listen, Wednesday we're announcing you for this project. So if there's anything that you don't want America to know about,
Please delete it.
please go through, just read everything." And so this buddy of mine was like, yeah, so basically I had to go through and he was telling me, and he was just like, man, I didn't know that tranny wasn't a thing you were supposed to
Same.
say until
No-
like
no
2
one-
years ago.
No one
Same.
did.
But the thing I said, I was like, well, yeah, because the only prominent trans person that America knew until Caitlyn Jenner
Right.
was RuPaul.
Right.
And RuPaul says tranny every other goddamn word.
Right.
Those were the good old days.
Right. So I was like,
Raisins
That was
era.
post raisins.
so we had a bad.
Was it,
It
remember?
was pre raisin, probably.
It was probably pre-drag race, post back black to my roots, RuPaul.
But like so that's what I said to him. I was like, well, we had a bad teacher.
And it's all fake outrage. everyone thinks they need to be outraged because everyone else on the internet, like everyone's sharing the same opinion. No one can think for themselves anymore.
It's interesting because I feel
awful.
I think people really do have the emotion behind their outrage. Like I think they are really feeling that outrage, but I don't think that people spend enough time understanding how the world works and whatever thing they're mad about.
They
so
don't.
They just
Yeah.
so
They're
all they
overwhelmed.
understand is like there is some injustice here, and I don't like that. But they don't bother to learn any
do
of the other
research.
details that you need to learn.
Neil
Right.
Postman. Has anybody ever read that? Musing ourselves to death.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never read it, but
It's pretty much predicted all this. He basically says in it, the telegraph was what messed everything up. Because because all communication since then, he says, has been increments. But
Yeah.
the telegraph, he said, was the first time that people were able to instantly get news from places and events that don't affect them at all.
Yeah.
So for the first time, people could be worried about stuff that doesn't affect them on a day-to-day level
you could-
at all.
yeah.
Cecil the lion.
Yeah, and it's
Or
become
Harambe.
yeah, it's become like a giant extension of that. People are stuck walking around worrying about every problem in the world, which they can't fix, and not their own goddamn life.
Right.
I had a friend in town over 4th of July.
It's a lot easier to think about other stuff.
It's very easy
That
to think
requires
about other stuff.
self-reflection.
'Cause it doesn't
and making
affect
myself
you.
a better person.
Gross.
Why would I do that when I can, avoid the situation that's happening here?
Well, I've said this before. If a million people, I mean, if a million is enough for pause, but let's say there was an earthquake now or something in China and like 20,000 people died. We'd all be like, that's terrible, but we'd forget about it in 5 minutes.
Right.
And it's not anything bad on us. The Chinese people would do the same thing if people happen here.
Of course.
The best day of a person's life, the day your son is born or your daughter, you get married, is the day somebody else dies of a
Right.
disease.
Right.
Life is subjective like that. Every moment is full of good and evil. And if you can't accept that about life, then damn, you don't know a damn thing about it. So you get off the goddamn internet and stop these old ladies and these outrage fanatics trying to stop those of us who live life
Yes.
from living it, y'all.
I will.
You said you had a friend in town for 4th of July?
Yeah, and I did nothing except go to the damn beach, get high, and watch wrestling. And then I come back and everybody's talking to me about all these horrible things that have happened in the world. And I'm just like, man, they didn't happen in Mar Vista. I don't give a shit.
Mar Vista remains unaffected.
Well, yeah, I'm like, man, it's 4th of July. It's summer. We're in California. Why ain't you at the beach? Why are you on the internet worrying about things?
The worst
Everyone
thing to
wants
happen.
to put their 2 cents in.
Yeah.
I will say, I think my closing statement about the internet is that I appreciate that social media has really brought me to a place where I feel like nobody is worth respecting. And there is like some quiet like peace and confidence in that. Like people that I look up to are not worth respecting. Everyone is just a dumb person, and it's just we're all fine.
Bill Cosby,
World without
Bill Cosby
heroes.
showed us that.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
He made sure to really make sure we learned
He
that
hammered
lesson.
that one.
You know, back in the era of early raisins, I never thought I'd be living in America without Bill Cosby or that guy with the big pants on the subway commercials.
Wait,
What happened to him? I don't see him much no more.
yeah, what happened to him?
And there's a certain, and these are friends of mine. There's people that stay mad about the internet all day, every day.
Yes.
That's
And
because they're
that
on
is
it all
such
day,
an
every
unhealthy,
day. Yeah.
such an unhealthy way to live your life. Like they let it negatively affect their real life.
To be honest, I don't know why anybody talks about like politics and things
Yeah.
like that, except under specific circumstances.
no one in your real life will listen to you talk about it.
That's true.
Yeah.
This
I
is
mean-
true. You gotta have an outlet.
So you can just
Yeah.
like shout it into
Politics
the void.
is one of those things. It's like as soon as people start talking, they're going to find reasons to not like people they wouldn't have a problem with
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah.
Of course,
exactly.
of course.
So no matter what your opinion is, I mean, a smart man doesn't talk about. I find politics.
I know. It's like
at
my
the drop
opinion.
of a
My
hat.
opinion ends up being anyone who's hyper political on social media. I don't like.
Yeah.
Just like you're insufferable.
Like,
I
I'm,
think this is too
like
much.
I'm 100% guilty. Like I'll get into it a little bit, but I never try
Part
to.
of it's fun.
That's right. I always try to have fun and try to maintain. Like I'm not going in it. I'm not going for the jugular. I'm
And
going
you
in it
always,
to like.
you,
Well,
go,
you always have to keep it
I've
light.
seen you slide into like Facebook fights and really just make one perfect joke and then like back out slowly
And then just tiptoe.
And it's my favorite thing to watch.
I love
in the
doing that.
world.
My favorite is playing the old the Muhammad Ali, the rope a dope thing, where you just say something so ridiculous that you make someone who's saying something stupid
Get so
you
mad.
be stupider than they are.
Yeah.
And they have to work backwards away from their own opinion. that's my favorite thing to do.
You're
Like,
quite the expert at.
He's a professional.
It's one of my
Learn some
favorite things.
tips.
Yeah, where like somebody, I remember back in the day when Glenn Beck was having these rallies. He had one that was on the anniversary of the "I Have a Dream" speech back in like 2012 or something.
Cool.
So he's a
Really cool.
dick.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And then that didn't cause enough controversy. So
Right.
the next year, his next rally was at the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem.
Jesus Christ.
And
He's
so,
like, how can I step this up a notch?
yeah, how can I make this worse?
How can you have a rally there? There's no Glenn Beck supporters there.
That he wanted people to donate and like travel and like he
Fly
had like
out.
travel packages and all this crazy shit.
my God.
And it was stupid, but like this, I was, there was like a big political fight happening and I just jumped in the middle of it and was like, who will join me at Glenn Beck's rally in Jerusalem? And the main lady who was the main person who was being a dick who I didn't know, I was just like, I forgot her name. Let's say it was Karen. I'm like, Karen, will you join me at Glenn Beck's rally? Make a donation now. Like I like put the
my
link to the
God,
thing.
That's so funny.
And I was just like, it listed all of the activities. I came up with like all the
Was there,
stuff
like,
we were gonna
apple
do.
bobbing and
That's what I
things?
said. Yeah, apple bobbing. And then I was like, we're gonna have a greased pig and like all this shit. Like, and the lady was just
Hilarious.
like, wait, you're insane. And I'm like, and then I just backed off.
I
Just-
am.
And then just
Disappear.
disappeared into the night.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes I have a bad day. And
Yeah.
and I see something boiling on the internet, and I'm like, I'm jumping in the middle of
Oh,
it.
I love it.
Like
yeah.
I am
A little
gonna,
bit of recreation,
best.
I guess.
I'm gonna let out some rage
Right.
at a stranger.
You have to be careful and read comments carefully because I just had something happen with, I'll say their names because it was not a big deal at all. It was just more hilarious than anything. But you guys know Tess Barker
Yeah,
and Meryl Davis.
Yeah.
So somebody, I forget what I had posted originally. Like some of my like friends on Facebook started commenting, and then one of my friends, it was about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends, Facebook friends, I met this guy like once in person, but he's not really a friend. He's a Facebook friend. Posted, he was like, oh, it was about Bernie and Hillary, and then he starts defending Bernie and called Hillary Shillery, which is what people do. They
Yeah.
call her Shillery because,
Yeah.
And
they say
again,
she's a
have-
corporate shill and blah, blah, blah.
Have been doing that since the 90s.
Right, exactly. This is not new. So then...
This is like the tricks joke.
Mid-raisin.
You're not,
Yeah.
you're not original.
Right.
And it's like late
he wasn't-
raisins era.
Right. Never gets old.
I know.
I love it. I'm going to be using this the rest of my life.
Good. It's the BC 80 of dating, the era of the raisins.
It's so fantastic. So, and he's a nice guy. Like he was not doing anything, saying anything mean to me. It was just a comment that he made. And then Meryl and Tess started calling him misogynist because he said, they were like, and he goes, I'm not a misogynist. And they were like, oh yeah, but you just used the word shillery. And I was like, what?
Oh, they think you said shrill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah.
And went on this huge thing
And you were
just
like,
attacking
guys,
him.
guys,
and
I'm
then
so
I
sorry.
had to step in and I was like, guys,
I'm so sorry.
I love both of you, but you are confusing the word shill
In shrill.
with shrill.
Yeah.
And then Tess was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm walking outside.
That's really good. That is
So
very
yeah, you have
good.
to like, I know when you get passionate and you see
Yeah.
something, you just want to pounce on it, but it's like, you got to take time and make sure because it's, things get lost in translation.
I have deleted more paragraphs where I was just like, I'm just going to go do anything else.
You have to choose your battles because, like, if someone knocks on your door and you think, well, I don't know who it is, and so you instantly shoot whoever's outside.
Right. The only thing I'll say about getting into it like that, I try to, before I engage, know for a fact that I can maintain the comedy high ground. Because if you can just be the jester, if you can be, as the tarot card proclaimed me to be from the last episode.
I thought it was Steeler's Wheel that called you that.
No, it's Steve Miller.
Oh, that was the Joker.
Smoker, Midnight Toker.
Gets his loving on a run, folks.
That's right. But if you can, at least for me, I'm just like, all right, I have to be able to be the least serious person in this discussion just so I can get out of it and not look like
Right.
Smart.
make my point but get out without looking like too much of a shithead, and in that way
Right.
it's sport to me a little
Yeah.
bit
It
because
is.
it's like, how many jokes can I get out of what people are saying?
You're keeping it light.
Yeah, try to keep it light, which people go so quick into like boycott this person, and you're like, everybody take it down.
Relax for a second.
Yeah, calm the hell down and just shut the thing off and go watch TV and live life.
Have you dealt with anything else like that?
I mean, every woman I think on social media has gotten been attacked in some way, shape, or form.
I wish more people would attack me. I feel like I don't get enough.
I feel like Ben Carson or something.
I know. No one's paying attention to me.
I miss Ben Carson.
Me too.
I really miss making fun of him.
Oh,
He was funny.
He might be the defense secretary, so you might get your wish.
You're right about that.
Well, better that than Surgeon General.
Cause I'm a picker, I'm a grinner, I'm a lover, and I'm a sinner. I play my music in the sun. I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I get my loving on the run.
Speaking of social media, Candice, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Jokes by Candice on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Hell yeah. We'll do that. And for the love of God, it's Jokes by Candice. It's a fucking joke, okay? So if you go to clubs, you're over 35, keep going to clubs. Be confident. Do whatever you want because it's your life. And don't be mad at a comedian for making a fucking joke.
For club shaming you.
Yeah, for club shaming you. Yeah, just go live your goddamn life.
Just laugh at it and say, guess I am too old.
Yeah, whatever. And then put on Sandstorm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only club banger I know, so I'm just going to keep referencing
If
Sandstorm.
those people were secure in their club going, they would have no problem with what I said.
Dirt off
that
shoulders.
means they already felt insecure about it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what that means.
One person claimed they've been listening to club music since the era of late raisins, and it seems to me there's some long-seated insecurities in that complaint.
Monica, where can people find you?
I'm Mighty Monica on Twitter and Instagram, Monica with a K. And you can also listen to my podcast called What Did You Learn? Recorded in this same room. Look it up. iTunes, Stitcher. It's called What Did You Learn?
Yeah. Also,
She's a beautiful lady too. Let's give her credit.
hell
Yes.
Oh man, thank you so much.
And Rivers is a beautiful person. That's what
He's breathtaking.
Yeah, no, that's true because my Aunt Rosev, she wants a piece of Rivers, man. Rivers might be my uncle one of these days.
I'll see you at Christmas.
That would be
She wants a sliver of rivers.
Oh no.
I'll see you at Christmas, Rosev. All right, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. We're at The Goods Pod. And please rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. That is the best way to spread awareness about the show. Song for the week this week is The Beat Farmers, and the song is called Bigger Stones. We'll see you next week.
Sometimes I wanna fall asleep and die off in a dream. The music takes me back to my old past when I was young and feeling mean. And as I stand through the spotlight, it's like driving my car. We had the girls in the wheel with the bill on a stolen credit card. Singing someday we'll be stars, Joe. And now I feel the pain of growing old. I hear voices in the rain. I see the vision of doubt that keeps rolling through my baby's eyes.
The Goods from the Woods was mixed, edited, and distributed by me, Rivers Langley. You can find the show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by DJ Smiles. Check him out on Twitter at DJ Smiles.